And you have 15 minutes as well. I will be counting that.
Thank you, Dr. Tarek. So it's a pleasure to be here with all of you, and I'll move directly to the topic since we already introduced. So let me check. This one. Okay, time. So before I start and go through the presentation, so let me just give a brief about the topics that we are seeing this as a requirement in all the utilities in the region. So it's not only in Oman that you might be facing this, or you might see the need for asset management, but we are seeing it in UAE, we are seeing it in Qatar, in Saudi, so it's in the whole region of Middle East Africa. The topic is really moving on and is very important. Let's see, when utilities are moving to this direction, what are the challenges that we have identified in this area? So mainly when utilities are going into this direction, there is different aspects that need to be considered, like the aging of the infrastructure, the new electricity inputs that are coming, like solar and wind, and all the new technologies that are coming. Then we have also the continuity of service. We have the footprint that is requested by the utility. And on the other side, we can see the KPIs for sustainability. We can see utilities are looking for less CO2 requirements, less greenhouse gases requirements. So there is lots of requirements that are coming, okay, related to the environment, related to the sustainability, and at the same time we have the aging of the infrastructure. And same time we have the limited resources. So, and this was very obvious during the time of COVID, and this is where the time that all these requirements have increased, because the utilities have faced situations where they don't have enough people to go to the site because of the limited resources at that time, limited budgets. If we are speaking about 100 substation, you will not be able to visit the 100 substation at one time. You don't have even all this manpower to do. So it's everything is limited, and having all the new digital transformation happening. So the questions come about, what should we do? What should I replace? What should I maintain? What should I give higher priority to? Okay, it's coming to everyone working into the operation, into the maintenance and the asset management. This is the main thing. And looking into the cycle, is it a long-term view that I should be looking forward? So I should be mainly focusing on my next year plan, or it's a 5-year plan, or it's a 20-year plan. What should I work on, and what are the risks and the cost allocated to this? These are the main questions that every utility are going through. We'll try to cover as much as possible into this domain. So how we see this is that it's not only about the assets. So some people are only focused on the asset, but we see that it's a full thing. So you have one side is the organization, okay, where you need to work on all the teams, all the alignment internal into the organization. So there should be. We believe that asset management is the responsibility of everyone in the organization. So everyone should work together to find the right budget, to agree on the budget, agree on the resources that will be used, okay? And then after this is set and everything is clear on this dimension, then we look into the process. How will be the process of putting the decision, taking the risk management, how we are going to take it, what is the life cycle of the asset, so what is the process that we are setting in the utility to move into this direction. And by having all this, then we have on the other side the technology that is coming and all what we have been discussing over the past 2 days. So we have seen yesterday in the new grid technologies that are coming. We know that in IT, so we have the GIS, Geographical Information Systems, where you can get all your network model and all your data are coming from this resource, for example. Then you have the enterprise asset management, you have your ERP systems. Then you are adding to this the asset management softwares or the APMs, whatever you have. Then you have as well, you have invested in a SCADA or an ADMS, in a digital substation. All this is helping you to capture more and definitely to have a more efficiently decision of changing or repairing or replacing a device, definitely. And including the IoT data, the data that is being captured from the teams of the site, and having the cybersecurity over all these platforms. Okay, this is the basis that we are going through. And combining all this with the ISO standard, ISO 55000, so we have the full puzzle together. Okay, and then I will not go into very deep into this, but just to have a view. But asset management, okay, so asset management as a core, okay, you will see an APM where everyone is speaking about an APM, but it's not only an APM. APM is asset management, okay, asset performance management, but then you have as well your enterprise asset management. Some utilities have only the enterprise asset management, some utilities have only the APM, but we see that you need all of this combined together, okay, to reach the goal. So the APM and the enterprise asset management and the asset investment planning as well. And why we see asset investment planning as well is important, because having the asset performance management, it gives you a view about critical decisions, like a replacement that may happen in the coming 6 months or the coming 1 year. Okay, it's short-term view, but having the asset investment planning, it's more of strategic decisions that need to be taken based on this. So it gives you analytics of your assets for the coming 20, 30, and even 40 years. Okay, considering all the assets that you have in the network, and then complementing the story. Okay, we have to get all the data from the GIS. So this is, and I remember yesterday there was a clear question about the network model and that we want to keep one network model. So yes, we mainly depend on the GIS as the main source of all the data. So all the network model and all the management of data should happen into the GIS, and then it is feeding all the rest of the parts of the game that we are all working on. Then integrating to this an ERP system coming from whatever companies that you have. An ERP system will be definitely very important to allocate the budget, to get the costing, and to integrate the whole thing together. Okay, this is our view. So how Schneider is seeing this and is integrating this in. So we have in our system, we have the APM, we have the AIP, we have both bricks, okay, and we combine them together. Our main intention here is that we provide the utilities a system agnostic tool, okay? So it's whatever ERP system you have, whatever GIS system you have, whatever, it's an agnostic tool to whatever other platforms that you have already invested in. So that's the first thing coming from Schneider. Then it's secure. Definitely all the cybersecurity requirements that are needed are implemented. Okay, it can be on cloud, it can be on premises. It's as per the requirement of the utility. Okay, we have seen some of the utilities are not yet ready to go to the cloud, but so then we can have it on local premises if needed. It's very specific. So our grid asset management suite is mainly for utilities. So we are addressing electric utilities. Okay, so it's not for motors, it's not for truck, it's mainly for the electrical application. So it has been dedicated and designed for the substation, for the overhead transmission lines, for the transformers. These are the main inputs that are integrated. And the solution fully is integrated within the EcoStruxure platform of Schneider. So if you have, for example, an ArcFM as a GIS, okay, then definitely we are fully integrated. If you have an ADMS from Schneider, or if you have a SCADA from Schneider, it's fully integrated inside the environment of Schneider. And how it works. So we collect the data from the field, okay, through different platforms. So if you have your ADMS, if you have your GIS data or smart metering, like what we have been discussing since the morning, that there is this project for 1.2 million meters. So it's definitely an important brick to the whole platform that the utility is building. Okay, and we are integrating all these platforms to collect the data for the operation. Then on the top of this, we have the asset libraries, okay, in which we have built these libraries over the years of experience of having all these components of the electrical network. So we have all these models, and in addition to this, having the aging models with the asset intelligence and the maintenance reports that are coming from the field, we can have the holistic view of the whole asset management, and then a decision can be taken, definitely. I will give only two examples that can be one of the most important maybe for utilities. So the first one is mainly on overhead transmission lines, and here we depend on technologies like drone technology, combining it with, comparing it with ground images coming from the field, and the thermal sensors. So we depend on different technologies, okay, to compare the full view, and based on this we can identify any damaged asset, any critical asset that is being affected. Then we can improve the accuracy of risk analysis based on all these data, okay, and this will help us to avoid any unplanned outage to the network. I think this is very important for our colleagues maybe from OEDC. It can be an important for overhead transmission. Then when we speak more about transformers, which is not covered today. So these two assets especially are not covered today with lots of sensors. So you need to have lots of inputs to cover. So for transformers, definitely if you have the sensors, this will be great. Another aspect we consider is the smart meter, okay, as inputs, okay, and then some data analytics, so some low voltage analytics and machine learning and all this. We integrate the three of them, and based on this we can identify an overload that is happening or any imbalance that is happening on the network, and this will provide us information of the transformer. And collecting this data, we build something that is called a monetized risk. So we take the decision based on a monetized risk factor, and this factor is actually coming from the probability of failure of this device, okay, in addition to the total cost of such device. So combining all this, you reach this kind of risk factor, and you can have a full matrix where you will see what are the critical assets that might be affected soon and need to be replacement, and based you need to change accordingly. Okay. As conclusion, so this is the conclusion and recommendation. I did not get into the details of the topic, but definitely we can discuss and we can work on it. But as a conclusion, what we recommend is to leverage a proven international standard and methodology while implementing an asset management. Okay, and here we refer to the ISO standards. We refer to the Global Forum for Maintenance and Asset Management, and I have seen that Oman is having representatives in such forum, by the way. Maybe you can check the website. These are NGOs that are putting some recommendation and supporting the same initiatives. Also, we can depend on IEEE, IEC, SEGRE recommendations. So all this will definitely help and can be the basis of an asset management. Adoption of monetized risk, as I just explained, is a very important aspect, and it can go, especially when you specify the quantity and the budget that you will allocate for a change every year, for example. Also, putting the strategy, including some of the standards, some of the well-known standards that are in the market. Like, for example, if you depend on FMEA, I have seen already utilities that are using FMEA as example. For example, all this will give you priorities to which asset you will need to use, for example, sensors. And I can tell you that, for example, we as Schneider, we have today smart RMU, we have connected switch gears. You will find us coming to you for connected transformers. So you will find sensors for all this. Yes. And definitely leveraging all the digital technology that are available now in the market will give you more smarter solutions, like drones or satellite data or smart meters and ADMS. All these solutions will definitely help you. So anyway, I will stop here, and I thank you all for this, and I will be available for any question later. Thank you.